Molly, great to see you on Fight Week. Let's start it off in the most British way possible. How are you dealing with the heat?
It's making a delight for the weight cut. It was quite hard. Me and Patrick came down in a car because we didn't trust the trains with the strikes. We had to get here, so we got the minibuses down. It was hot, but we've both woke up really light today, so my little Irish skin wouldn't last in that heat anyway. But Paddy looks like he's been to the Dominican Republic for 2 weeks. He's looking fresh to death.
So you've dropped a bit of weight and you've avoided the sunburn, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There you go.
Learning my lessons.
There you go. Got it made. I'll tell you what, there's nothing quite better though, is this, for us English people, when the sun's out like this, to have a pint, especially when England are doing so well in a footy tournament. How hard's it been to resist?
This time, it's going to sound mad, but not. I haven't even wanted a pint or worried about anything at all. All I've wanted is just to get this fight, to get here and to win. And you know what's been great? What's it called? Watching the Women's Euros. I watched a lot of, towards the end of the season, obviously, Everton staying up. I was speaking a lot with the players, and I spoke to Frank Lampard. He messaged me a few times, and I took a lot of positive energy and just wanting to win off them. And then I was watching the Emma Hayes and Chelsea women documentary on DAZN Football, and it's just completely made me just fall in love with sport again and be re-inspired. And then the Women's Euros, you know, Scousers can sometimes come across as we're Scouse, not English. And in many ways, that's true. But for me, it's more anti-monarchy and anti-establishment, not anti-England. So I actually get behind the girls. I played with a few or against a few, and I'm just so proud of the England women's team. And I feel like it's been a massive year for women in sport. Like my knockout, when I went to Madison Square Garden to watch Katie Taylor headline. I went to Barcelona, Real Madrid to watch the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Just watching the Euros, and it's just it's really good to see women, just everyone getting behind the women. Not much sexism. Just everyone's just happy and just supporting. Women's support is different, and you'll have seen that in these Euros. It's just different. So I'm a happy woman.
When you see where women's football in this country is right now, I mean, if you turn on Sky Sports News today, we're all over it. It's going to be on terrestrial TV tonight, shown live, all over the papers. And you think where the sport was for women in this country, say 15, 20 years ago, does it give you hope for where women's MMA in this country could be 10, 15, 20 years?
Think like I was playing for Liverpool Football Club 2006 to 2009, or maybe 2010. And that was the year when I left when the WSL properly started. And they finished bottom. I think they only won one game. And that's when I finished and moved over to MMA. But to see in the last 10 years, wages for women, sponsorship for women, and attendance for games is what's really powerful. And I just know what I've been in the UFC for 4 years, and the uptake in females in MMA has skyrocketed. That's not down to me. Like little bits might be, but it's good to see. And if we talk about women's MMA has been in the UFC for 9 years, and look at the superstars in it. I'm a coach for the English MMA Association, so I'm on the sports performance board, and I'm one of the national team coaches. And I was coaching the kids the senior team at the Four Nations 2 weeks ago, and our girls won gold. Do you know what I mean? So it's great to see, and for them to speak to me, and their amateurs getting ready to turn pro and to still represent the country, but go everywhere around the world. Or for them to say things like, I want to be like you, you're the reason that I got involved in the sport. I think it's really mind-blowing, because it's always been the shoe on the other foot for me. I've always just admired other people, and it feels so weird when people say it. I don't know how to take it, so I don't mean to even look rude, but I'm a bit like, oh, really? Like, and then if I think about my accomplishments and think about the things I have done, I can see why. But it's still a bit mad listening to people go, yeah, I just want to be like you. Well, I started the gym because of you, and it's like the next 2 years, the Brits were up and coming, but the next 2 years, I know we're coming.
Is it fair to say then, Mol, just listen to what you're saying there, that you're still sort of coming to terms with how people perceive you, the influence you're having, the inspiration you're giving people? Are you still trying to kind of get a grips of that and what it means for you?
Look, if you come and look at my life from when I was a kid to where I am now, it's like I've always had to fight. I've always been an underdog. I've never been... There's just always something what you've got to fight against to be where you want to be. And I just don't think I'll ever be... Like, when I look at Conor McGregor and everyone speaks to him the way they do, and I just don't know how you become normalised or acclimatised to that kind of thing. It blows my mind. And you want to see some of the messages I've had this week. Like I sit in the room like now, and I'm the anticipation and everything for the weekend. And sometimes you have like minutes of madness where you think about, oh, what if this happens, and the what ifs. And then you read something like that and you think there's not a chance. And yeah, it's come a lot more the last year, and I still don't know how to take it. I just smile with these nice new teeth and what's it called? I just don't let it get to my head. And I think when you look at our captain and Leah Williamson, probably the sponsorship deal she's on, how much media she has to do and everything, she just demands greatness, and she just wants a team to win, and she applies herself in the correct manner. And I'd like to think I do that. In my sport, I believe I can be a little bit more true to myself, though. I'm allowed to express myself, and I haven't got constant codes of conduct and things that the FA or FIFA may put in place. I think the UFC, the fans' interaction with fighters is a bit more organic in MMA, and we don't have to be as cut off. So it's a little bit different, I imagine, where I can go for a pint with the fans. I can't imagine Leah Williamson can, you know, but yeah, bit of a mad one, head scrambler.
Should we talk fighting? That's what you've got to do this week.
If you want, I could talk football all day now.
I know. We'll rattle through some fighting just to tick the box, eh? Look, March was special. Anyone who was there, anyone who was watching knows it was something you're just not going to forget. When you look back on it, what are the images, the sounds, the feelings that hit you straight away?
It would be like a World Cup winning penalty. If I could imagine, if I could explain to the football fans, or it would be like winning an Olympic gold medal when that Usain Bolt crossed the line. I've spent 20 years in and out of combat sports and sports as a whole, and every moment of adversity I've overcome, it was all worth that one moment. Every no, every injury, every hardship, every session I was crying on the mat, every punch, every knee, every tooth lost, it was all worth it, you know. And if we talk about sound and we talk about atmosphere, And I talk about the heat. What about when I made the walk and I came out to Jamie Webster's, this place? And so it's on my chest, my people, my city, my heart. There was Scousers on the card. I knew what it meant. Half of that O2 Arena was from the Northwest. And the sound of the crowd when I came out, it went up octaves when I walked out to how it had been that night. When I got in there, the chants of my name, it was like being at a football match. I have never heard a crowd shout for a woman like that in my life. And I might be brash and I might be loud and I might have a joke, but I'm never like cocky or sure of like these kinds of moments and talk like, yeah, I was this and I was that, but I have never heard anything quite like that. It reminded me of Katie Taylor and Natasha Jonas at the Olympic Games when they boxed.
Oh, yeah. That atmosphere was incredible, wasn't it? I remember that.
Yeah. And I just got in there and I just felt like this was my moment, this was my time. And I bladdered at the first round, nearly got her out of there. Couldn't believe she was still standing. I thought, what am I going to have to do here? The second round, I chose to slow the fight down, left it for the last round. And you kind of imagine you're playing football, you need a goal. It's the second half of extra time, you know that team's coming. So, you know, you just need to weather the storm if you're a winning team. That's what I knew. Give it a minute, give it 2 minutes, just weather Luana's storm and then try and get her out of there, because my coach said she's belly breathing now. When you're breathing from your chest, you know you're tired, but when you're breathing from your diaphragm and your belly, you know, like that person's finished. And you seen me set it up. I moved the arm, I gave it a second, and I spun like my life depended on it. And I will never forget the roar from that crowd and looking at my coach Ellis Paul and Joe, and just that iconic photo of when I scaled the fence and my feet are up in the air, the referee's checking for a pulse. And then I just was like, I was running around. I was like, where's Dana? Where's Dana? And it's a moment that'll stay with me forever.
Look, you've got to try and follow that on Saturday night. And look, even speaking to you now, you can still see that you see yourself in the sort of the underdog role. And that's something you've embraced your whole life, your whole career. You are not the underdog on Saturday night, Molly McCann.
Not according to the bookies. And I'll keep it like this. That last fight gave me every piece of confidence and self-belief. If I ever doubted, I now have. Yeah. But I'm not here. That finish means on Saturday night, because that's not going to win me the fight. So I've prepared for my opponent like she is better than me everywhere. And when I get in there, I get to prove consistency. So you've seen levels to my game. You've seen I didn't handle the pandemic well, but other than that, I've always performed. And I'm ready for... I'll never top that finish, but I can tell you what, my fight IQ and my fight can top that fight. And that's what I want to bring the fans. Look, Paddy's on, Tom's on. There's a lot more Brits on the card, but us three Northwest kids, you just know we are out here to bring something and to make a big change and to be trailblazers in this country. And as a collective group, we are just ready for Saturday night.
Has it raised your expectations of what you're capable of? Because, look, as you said, you've shown your levels in the past. We know you can win. We know you can win on the big stage. But you became the person that everyone in the world was talking about. Exactly, yeah. Mate. You were the person people were talking about.
I went from I just want a bevy, lad, I'm buzzing, to the elbow girl. Imagine this, I'm in Madison Square Garden. I'm doing the open workouts for Katie Taylor and Manchester Rhino. Jake Paul comes and stands next to me, and his manager goes, "This is I hadn't spoke to his manager. This is Molly. She's in the UFC. She just won by a fantastic elbow 2 weekends ago." And Jake Paul's, "Nice to meet you, Molly." Blah blah. And it's like, I'm going around the world bumping heads with the big wigs, and they know who I am. But you're very right in saying self-belief. Mike Tyson said it, self-belief supersedes a genius if applied correctly. So we all know I'm not a genius, but my self-belief and my resilience to win is big. So I'm just ready to, I know I can flatline someone. So it's watch me do it again.